This is Keke.
Hello there, it's Keke here, of course, and I'm ready and willing to spend some time with you and some time on today's topic. Yes, okay, another day, another topic, another gab fest. Today we'll be getting behind the scenes and getting the secrets on what actors do to get in shape for their movies. You know, those Marvel actors are putting in the work and the buffness, baby. My guest today is celebrity trainer Corey Calliet, who has trained Michael B. Jordan, John Boyega, and of course, your girl Cakes. But before we get into all of the Hollywood training secrets, let's go down the rabbit hole with your favorite girl, Sharon. Let's get into it. Now, Mom, I'm really excited to talk to you because I know that you're a huge Bruce Willis fan.
I am.
Obviously, he's like one of the biggest action kings.
Yes.
One of your favorite movies is like Lethal Weapon. You obviously love...
Well, Die Hard.
But you love Lethal Weapon too.
Yeah, but that wasn't Bruce Willis.
I know that's not Bruce Willis. I'm giving you another edition of movies. We already
I'll
talked about Bruce.
I'll be quiet, but those
you
are
really thought I got Mel Gibson and Bruce Willis mixed up? Please don't ever play me like this on the show. But I'm just saying that you're an action girl. So that means you know about some really good fit bods. So before we get all the way into the secrets and the nooks and crannies, I gotta ask you who some of your favorite, workout bodies, like the best transformations that you've seen.
Oh wow.
With actors to film.
The best, well, obviously, I have to say Creed. I mean,
oh yeah, Michael B came out of nowhere. I mean, we remember Michael B from
Jonathan is in the
Jonathan Majors. Too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like a great transformation.
Because Jonathan, I mean, before that movie, I mean, did you see the pictures of him online?
I did.
I mean, he was looking like your little skinny cousin.
Exactly.
Screechy.
Exactly. But I also like when you notice the guy that's slim, he doesn't like try to bulk up too much.
Sure.
And then it's toned. You know what I mean? It's a lot of actors like that I look and I go, oh,
they're not crazy, but they're just like toned up and cut up, like somebody like Will Smith.
Yes.
When he started really busting out from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air into doing Independence Day,
or the actor that does Captain America.
Now he really transformed.
Yeah,
you're talking about oh my goodness. No, not Chris Pine.
But him.
Oh my gosh! Don't do the whole white people looking like gag. What's his name? It is Chris Evans. Chris Evans. Man, I'm about to say Christopher Walken.
Oh wow!
Girl, I really went far with that. Yeah, Chris Evans.
Yes.
That body came out of nowhere. It was like we saw him in the rom-coms, and that's the thing. So it's interesting to me. I think. It can be so self-conscious, the whole body thing, right? Because not every entertainer, not every performer cares about that, right? We have, God rest his soul, we have people who, like Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's not buff, but incredible and great actor. He doesn't need to be ripped and buff in order for us to get a role. You know what I mean? There's tons of men. I never cared about Morgan Freeman having abs. You know what I mean?
Right. That's good. That's a good one.
But it is interesting how it can be almost a career skill or another extra added trait if you are buff. It like opens up a whole different side of line of work.
Right. Well, I would also say, and then I think of comedians. A lot of comedians.
Kevin Hart.
Yes. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's a whole new breed of comedians. And then you can tell that Marlon Wayans works out.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So, but it used to be, back in my day, like John Belushi and those people, they wasn't.
I just think it's interesting.
They were, didn't care about that.
I remember when I was 17 and I told you, I said, Mom, I really have a dream of one day doing stuff like Will Smith. I want to be able to do comedy and action.
I remember that.
And I was like, I got to get a trainer. You remember that?
I do.
And I started training. And it's just so interesting how it's been the journey of, I was always putting so much pressure on myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like, obviously with Nope, I got a great opportunity to do some action stuff. Yeah. And I definitely had already obtained a pretty fit body. But my frame has always been quite small.
Right.
And so it's interesting after the baby to see all the extra stuff I have to work with, how much, my fear of having extra weight actually became a strength as it pertained to weight training and working out. Like it gave me so much more to work with and mold with. And so it's interesting to see how that's going to be able to be used for future roles and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I remember you. First of all, you're a very curious person. And you're the type of person, once you get interested in something, you're going to read about it and research it and do everything that you possibly can. So, yeah, I remember when you said that, and you really have been dedicated. This has been a journey.
For
You know,
sure.
I remember you were, just, reading about it and working out. And then, I remember various different trainers telling you it's really about what you eat, what you put in your body. It starts there.
And I think what's important too that I've learned is like, working with Corey is working with what you have. I think there's this really big thing, and even if you're not in entertainment, even if you're just somebody that just, wants to get into fitness or wants to get into quote unquote healthy eating, it's not so much about changing yourself and becoming someone new. It's about figuring out how to make what you have work and honing in on that. And I think that is so much more empowering than trying to become somebody you're not. I mean, we've seen so many entertainers also speak to that. When you think about people like Kirstie Alley, who always spoke about the pressures of being an entertainer and the ups and downs and
Jessica Simpson as well.
Yeah, I think it also is something that's it's interesting how that goes.
I just want to say this. I think being in the entertainment industry, being in Hollywood adjacent, it's hard. Like me being your mother, it's hard for me. I've struggled with my weight ever since I was a teenager.
Right.
And so then you walk in the room looking like $1 million and they're like, that's her mother? Like, yes, and I need a hot dog right now. Yes, pass the ketchup. I don't care how many sugars it is.
You give me life, girl.
When you're overweight, people start giving you helpful hinders. That has a lot of salt. I'm like, yes.
As if you don't know.
Hand me a glass of water, because I'm about to eat this shit.
I'm howling. Well, I think that's dope for you to even talk about that because obviously you also were an entertainer.
Yes.
I mean, you sang, you did theater. So did you ever think about your weight when it became?
Of course.
You did.
Girl,
Oh, really?
As a female, I don't care what. First of all, I don't care what industry you're in. As a female, you walking into an office, you walk into a room, you know how you're being judged.
Yeah.
Females are not normally judged on their, SAT score or whatever the score is. It's mainly how they're dressed.
Sure.
And how they present themselves and how they look in their room. And you can go to any corporation or any office. There's that girl who keeps getting promotions.
Yeah.
And everybody keep trying to figure out, how does she keep doing that? Some people put a very high priority on appearances, more so than intellect.
I love what you're saying with that because I talked about this a little bit in my book. Remember, I was talking about people like Beyonce, for instance, who I think uses very much so her femininity, her sexuality as a source of power to get you to look towards what she wants to talk about. And I even think Emrata recently wrote a book about that. Emrata, who started out, from my knowledge, as a video kind of girl, and then she ended up being kind of like an influencer socialite, and now she has like several businesses.
Right.
She spoke about that, and so I want to ask you too. What do you think about how I don't want to say useful, but what is your opinion on using your body, using your sexuality, using your sensuality as a form of power to kind of like, using it against the people that are objectifying you with it?
I think that's smart. If you can do that, you know what I mean? I think it's fine if you can use that and you do it, like you say, do it very well. But my opinion is I'm just a real person. Yeah. I don't really have time to play mind games or anything like that. It's just like, Seriously. This is really who I am and this is what you about to get, And it just really is like that. But I do think you should put a high priority on your appearance. So it's not like, I'm 100 pounds overweight and I don't, want to look good or something like that. It's just I struggle with my weight. And I've always struggled with my weight from the time I was a teenager. And it's a personal problem with me. But don't judge me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think I'm smart.
Or don't assume things about my character. And I think somebody that's done really good. I mean, there's been multiple people that have not, quote unquote, fit the mold or the standard of beauty. But one person that immediately comes to mind is obviously Lizzo. I mean, Lizzo obviously is, I don't know if I would call her, what's the word I'm looking for? Like she loves aesthetics. She's sexy. She is a fashion girl.
And
is what I'm saying.
Confident.
She's confident. She's not somebody that is like, okay, yeah, motherfuckers, I'm overweight, but why did that mean I'm not sexy? Why did that mean I don't have a great wardrobe? Why did that mean I'm not stylish, etc.? And so I love that because I do think that there's this negative connotation that if you're overweight, all of a sudden that is indicative of how you feel about yourself.
Yeah, like you have low self-esteem. I've never in my life had low self-esteem. Never. I've never felt like, oh my God, woe is me. I was just like, I need this chicken here, so pass this on and I'll start my diet tomorrow. My issue wasn't low self-esteem. It was just,
shit sounds like so busy. High I don't care what you think.
Yeah,
which is everything.
But let's just examine though. How do you get here? How do you get here? How do you get overweight or whatever? For me, and first of all, I also want to say everybody's journey is different. Yeah. Okay? Just like your workout plan, and everybody's different. What works for you doesn't work for everyone. But with me, it's just I just was into my kids and working, and then I look up. It's late. I don't got time to make nothing healthy.
It's just a lot. I know for me, and I think it's important for me because a lot of people are thinking about, I just had the baby, and wow, and they want to make me this, want me to be this representation of like, yes, as a mom, you can blah, blah, blah. But also I want to say, like, it's my job. Right. Like, let's not get crazy, and I don't want people to think that I'm also setting unrealistic standards. Right. Because I can afford a trainer. I can afford meal prep. Right. I can afford a lot of things. Right. And it's expensive, but I'm investing in my career because it's my career to look good. Right. And not even it's my career to look good, but it's my career choice to have the kind of career that I want to have. I specifically want to be in action. I specifically want to do certain things that would require me. And that's good. So it's like it's a personal choice, and so I never want to put that on anybody, and that's big for me because I know that a lot of people look at me, and I represent a lot of people in different ways, and so I always want to make it clear, especially when I'm talking about fitness and health and wellness, is that your journey is your journey. You figured out the way you can, and when you look at these celebrities and these people in the industry, know that it's their job. You know what I mean? You're gonna go hard for your job, and maybe it helps the personal. But I
will say this about you is that you don't cut corners. You know what I mean? You're really not into easy fixes. You actually do the work. You actually do the work. Yeah, it's hard. It really is. I think people would just be so surprised. I don't know if they would be surprised, but I guess if someone came up to me and said, you've been knowing Keke your whole life. I think
they would be surprised because I'm such an unserious person, but yet serious.
You're so disciplined.
It's crazy. It's like I'm unserious personality-wise, but I'm very professional when it's needed.
You're just very focused about things that you care about, and you put 100% into it. It's kind of like amazing to watch just how when you get focused about something, how serious you are. And that's how it is with working out with you. It's your skin.
Oh my gosh, the skin
all
journey.
Of that stuff.
So, Mom, I know one of our relatives has diabetes and ended up taking Ozempic, I believe. I remember when I came back home to Chicago, I was like, damn, she look good. She done lost all this weight. And you was like, yeah, they gave her this new diabetic medication that's got her lose all this weight. I don't know if you know, but a lot of the girls in Hollywood, a lot of the girls and gals have been using Ozempic to lose weight. What do you think about this?
Are they diabetic?
No.
Okay, so they taking diabetic medicine to lose weight.
Yep.
I think that's very stupid and dangerous and very Hollywood. Girl, that's crazy. Okay, how did it start? Like,
I think somebody must have had a relative like I did that used it, and they saw they lost all that damn weight, and they said, "Give me some of that."
Yeah, okay. Like those commercials when they go, "Oh, bald head, it might cause diarrhea,
mesothelioma."
Yeah, that's what that's gonna do. It's like you may lose weight, but you're gonna lose hair. You're gonna do that. You're gonna have this.
Yeah, well, apparently they say it does really mess up like your metabolic system to some degree. I mean, obviously it's to control diabetic symptoms. So if you're not a diabetic, then you could be getting into some damn trouble, love.
Yeah, okay.
How do you feel about the fad stuff in general? I remember back in the day. You remember back in the day they had Slim Fast?
Yeah, now I actually did Slim Fast.
So what was that about?
That doesn't work because I ended up drinking 3 of those. So it's like they were so good. I would put the ice in the blender, and then you put it in, and you stir it up. You're like, this is kind of good. Then you end up making 3 shakes. So it didn't work.
You remember Nutrisystem?
I remember that. I didn't get into that.
You eating astronaut food.
I didn't get. I was never into that type of stuff, or even Jenny Craig.
Jenny Craig. Or what about?
I wasn't into that either.
What's her name?
What the hell is she doing? Who is that? that?
You know, she would come into the TV. She'd be like, I did all of this with Boyega.
Who is that?
She's like a fake Marilyn Monroe.
Oh.
Hi, my name is something Cole. What's her
I
name?
don't know who you talking about.
Anna Nicole.
Oh, the model.
And she would do, you
okay.
know, what was the thing?
I never see.
Hi, I'm Anna Nicole, and I lost all trim spot.
Oh, yes. I remember now. Okay, but when you were doing the animated, I do remember Richard Simmons.
Now, what was
Richard Simmons, like, the thing that Richard Simmons specialized in is he had, like, morbidly obese women, you know, kind of like myself here, and they was working out. And so, but
really?
this was the thing, though. He would do these, like, very low impactful workouts and stuff like that. So, I tried that. When you get so big, you can't do any of that. I got a hairline fracture in my leg. I'm like, you know, I can't even walk. So you get too big, it's some shit you can't even do. So even his low impact stuff didn't work for me. So, you know, I probably need therapy.
Sure.
I probably need hypnotizing.
So
I probably need to be hypnotized or something like that. But then also you had an agent.
Oh my God,
You had an
Mom.
agent. This is a funny story. You had a big
This is
Hollywood
so
agent.
funny.
And I was telling her, I'm trying to lose weight. You know, really, that's Hollywood talk.
You was lying to her.
I was just lying because that's what you say in Hollywood. Oh, well, I'm working out and I'm trying to lose weight. And like, nah, I just had a Snicker bar. But at the end of the day, this woman told me how she lost weight. And she like whispered it to me. She says, acupuncture. That's what she told me. I said, oh, so you go and they stick these needles in you and it makes you not hungry? Yes, acupuncture. I said, well, okay, I'm about to be hungry because I'm not laying there, somebody sticking needles
that
in
shit
my
made
back.
me think about the Nutty Professor scene when they was sticking all that stuff on his back.
Yeah. Oh, they did try to, yeah. Well, you had an agent that, you know, I won't say the name. But
acupuncture.
Yeah, she was whispering it like it was a secret and shit, like acupuncture. That's my secret. Acupuncture. And I was like, okay, well, all right, I gotta do something else, you know. That's not gonna work for me.
You're too much. You're too much. I always have a good time talking with you, but it's time for me to get into this conversation with Mr. Corey Calliet.
Okay.
Baby, this is Keke.
Okay, let's get into it with my next guest because I know you are going to love this one, okay? Sitting with me today, well, virtually speaking with me today, is a man who is responsible for training some of Hollywood's biggest stars, okay? His work can be seen in Creed 1 to 3, Fantastic Four, Star Wars, Pacific Rim, and of course, Black Panther. So please welcome to the show, the incredible Corey Calliet. Now, Corey, did I butcher your last name?
No, you did well. You did very well.
Okay, good. I forgot to also tell them that you're my amazing trainer, you know, who's helped me get into this new 2.0 Mamba.
I was waiting for that. I was like, forget all the other stuff. What are we doing?
Corey, I mean, I know you personally, but I want the people to get to know you, you know, a little bit better. We know your work, but who are you? Where are you from? And how did you become this amazing trainer?
So the good version of it is I'm from New Orleans. Born and raised in New Orleans. I'm a father.
Yes.
I'm a real Southern gentleman.
Come on, Southern gentleman.
I mean, you know. I started training in 2010. I was a mailman first. Moved to LA in 2004.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a mailman. I look back at that and be
Did
like,
you look like this already?
I was competing as a bodybuilder at the time, and I was a mailman. So I would be out there with a real.
People were begging for you to drop their mail off. I just know it.
They were begging for those checks. That's what they were begging for. The 1st and 15th was some hot days. I'll tell you that. I quit the postal service and I moved to LA.
What prompted you to go to LA?
I got a job at training the cast of Fantastic Four. A guy reached out to me and asked me if I was able to have availability to train the cast of Fantastic Four, which never happens. Especially
That's such a rare scenario.
It is. I remember coming from church that Sunday, and I don't check my answering machine. And my mentor reached out to me. He was like, Corey, a guy reached out to me to train the cast of Fantastic Four, but I don't have the time, and you're the next best person. So I called him back, hit the guy up. He told me, first I told him, I said, go see what I can do first. and then hit me back. So he hit me back, and within a week, I was on a set of Marvel's Fantastic Four. It was actually on the set for about a month.
Wow.
No actors wanted to train with me because I was very sizable at the moment, and they felt like I was going to make them look like me the next day, which is weird. I don't get it.
Quiet as it's kept. But wait, let's talk about that, right? Because bodybuilding is a specific art in its own. And definitely when you're thinking about bodybuilding, you're thinking about these super ripped, huge, buff bodies. I'm curious though, what a part of that being in your past has helped you to become this amazing trainer you are today? Because you do turn bodies over quite fast. And my guess is that comes from your success as a bodybuilder.
Correct. That's where it comes from. We basically strip the body down very fast. So it's the level of discipline. Because you can attain anything or reach anything. It all depends on the level of discipline. Now you can take it slow or you can take it fast. You can go all in or you can go halfway. And bodybuilding taught me how to transform my body. Because the thing about it was I was trying to work out. I was trying to get abs and look good for 6 years before even
Yeah.
And then I got on a diet in 2008 with a guy I worked with. And in 8 weeks, what I was trying to do for 6 years, I transformed my entire body. And it was a routine of eating the exact same thing every day at the same time and training harder than I ever trained in my life. I thought I was training hard until I started doing that. And the body has no way but to change when it comes to that sport. So that sport taught me how to aesthetically create a body because bodybuilding is training at its best. It's fine detail in every muscle and curve that you have in your body. And I was able to learn that and understand diet and understand how to train the body.
How do bodybuilders get them muscles to pop out, right? Because, you could be in shape. And I've heard theories and stuff. I've heard the whole sodium, water, with some type of shit like that. Like, what do people do? How do y'all make y'all bodies pop on stage like that?
It is true. Manipulation of water, no sodium, carb loading. Depends on what you're doing at the moment. Because when you strip yourself down of all the water and fat is gone, now you have muscle. Certain foods that you eat to make your body actually look really good. It's something I do with a lot of my actors when I'm getting ready for a movie like Creed. I call it movie magic. And
that is like a science project. That's insane.
It's a science project. And there's no exact way, you can't do data to say the exact way it can come out. It's kind of like an artist. You have to play with the body. You got to see just a little bit what I can take here, what I can take out here, what I can move here. And it ends up, coming out really well. And I put a lot of emphasis in that. I was competing. I'm talking about I competed for 8 years, and it was every day.
Wow.
It was every day.
I'm curious because I've watched a lot of documentaries about bodybuilding and how also straining it could be. Was that kind of a part of why you switched, and kind of just focused more on training? Was just kind of how intensive the bodybuilding lifestyle can be?
I needed something that was going to make me, first of all, get a lot of clients, which is what I can do. But bodybuilding has a short lifespan when it comes to success. Only so many guys going to be that guy. So I had to figure out what was going to be the thing, what I could do. And I always said, if I got one celebrity and they saw what I could do, it'll change everything. And that's exactly what happened.
So let's talk about that. Obviously, you're known for creating some of the best bodies that we have seen, in the last, I don't know. For my generation, it's like everybody's talking about Michael B. Everybody's talking about Jonathan Majors' body. Everybody's talking about these action flicks. And I know the answer to this, but I want to know what you think. How important is fitness to an actor's life? How important is it to their image?
I'm glad you asked that because, as you saw with Mike, it changes your career. That's one. Overall, it can change your career because what people see you as, and when you come back, you see a totally different person. And what that does is it shows producers, it shows directors, it shows studios discipline. I know I can work with this guy.
1,000%.
If you can do this with your body and give this amount of dedication every day, you're going to show up every day like that. And then on the other aspect of it, it creates a level of discipline. And when you create a level of discipline, what that is, discipline and consistency. I always say discipline is a roommate to consistency. You can't have one without the other. And you take that into your everyday life. And I could be honest, a lot of actors are lazy. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, you know what? Because actors are not thinking about that's why I asked you, from your professional opinion, what do you think the impact fitness can have on an entertainer or an actor's life is? Because I think most actors, we're thinking about, I need to be good at acting. We're thinking about making sure that we can give you the emotion, making sure we can give you a breakdown of the character, making sure that our craftsmanship is in the actual work. But there's something to be said, and I know this for myself personally, because I don't think of myself just as an actor. I think of myself as a brand. There's something to be said about fitness and healthy lifestyle. Not that you have to do it, but there is great reward in that, and how it can, give you great discipline, and the different doors it can open up for you. You know, if you want to be in an action flick, you know, you got to bring it with, you know, with that physique on camera. And it's so valid.
I think a couple years ago, I remember when I was training Lance Gross years ago.
Oh, Lance.
Yeah, I had all of them was under my umbrella of clients. And he said, you know, the era of like hiring photographers for headshots is gone, and now actors are getting trainers. And
yeah.
the thing is, we bring such a big impact to movies because we're going to make your actor, talking to the director in the studios, we're going to make your actor look phenomenal. So not only are you going to get a good performance, you're going to get a good visual performance from head to toe. Not only are you going to feel it, you're going to see it. And when you see it, you're going to remember it. Not only are you going to remember the line, but you're going to remember what he looked like when he said the line. You know, and that's what's important to me. That's my claim to fame when it comes to what I can actually do to a body and how I could take a body from, you know, from here to there. And that's been my thing. I said, when I come to Hollywood, I said, I'm gonna change the game by putting bodies out there. And you hadn't seen a body like Mike since the Rocky eras, you know, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And we love that. It shocks us. It's the same thing as seeing somebody rip it on the red carpet with incredible fashions. It's just like another layer of image and entertainment that it is exciting. I mean, we all like the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for a reason, right? So how does it work? You know, when you're on set, I mean, are you always on set with your actors? Like, were you there every day for Creed or Fantastic Four, or do you kind of just get them ready before then and then, you know, put them in there? Like, what's your process specifically?
No, when they go, I go. Like, I'm, you know,
Really?
there's some trainers, like people hire a trainer for a movie, and then that's it. Now with me, we start and we finish. Like, I'm moving out of town.
That.
I
haven't done a movie with you yet, but
it's
you
coming.
know.
We talked about it. It's coming. You know.
Yes.
I'm there the whole time on set, making sure everything is okay, making sure you're comfortable. I'm paying attention to the cameras, making sure that, you know, the lighting on you right, making sure you look how you're supposed to on the camera. And if you lagging, I'm going in your ear like you need to make sure I'm talking. I'm doing the same thing. The way that a director would lead you through a scene, I'm leading your body through the scene because I need to make sure that you look on point because we forget sometimes. You know, think about people who walk around sometime and their stomach just hangs out and just like suck it up. You know,
Posture.
pay attention. So that's what I do. You know, making sure that you're eating, making sure you're hydrated, doing those things so that you can actually last. I'm right next to the director.
So what kind of is your thing as a trainer? You know, or as just you, Corey, what is where do you take it from here? Because you've already done some great things with film and television. You've let people know what you can do, how you can transform bodies. What is your ultimate goal? Just to keep, you know, getting motherfuckers ripped as hell, you know, or what do you see how you can continue to impact with this kind of lifestyle?
I think what it is continuing to be a leader of it. Of course, making myself available for people. That's why I created, you know, online programs for people. But I think overall, becoming a household name. And when I say household name, that goes from you see me on your television, you see me on your phone, you see me at your local grocery store. You might see a cardboard box out. You read it.
Not a cardboard cutout.
You're reading about me in the books. You're seeing me everywhere. Everywhere that you can actually think about something being available, you find me. And not only that, is being able to continue to impact and guide the community, guide the generation. You know, being able to speak to these youngins that's under me. You know, being able to motivate and inspire, no matter whether you're going to see me doing it on TV, whether you're going to see me talking to you about it in the gym, whether you're going to see me talking at a TED Talk. My goal is to continue to inspire, continue to let my story inspire people to just be their best selves.
And I ask that because I feel like it's similar to what you said. Like, whenever I talk to somebody that is in fitness or somebody that's, you know, that's a trainer, or they even just in their personal life, you know, there is a certain attitude that you have, and it must be, because of the discipline, because of what it takes in order to wake up in the morning and get your body going. There must be some aspect of motivational speaking, like, you know, that you translate to your clients, because as we all know, when you're working out and trying to get your body right in the gym and all of this stuff, you're going up against a lot of other habits. How do you get somebody in the headspace to be able to take on this kind of challenge, especially if it's not something they usually do? We're talking about actors. If actors just their everyday thing is to just be acting, what is kind of like the first few steps of getting them into the mentality of what it's going to take to get to the goal they're trying to get to?
The thing is mentally getting them here first. I got to make you trust me. And if I can make you trust me, then you believe me. And when you believe me, you're going to follow what I say. And there's a thing about rigorously bringing you through certain things where you feel like you can fail here, not here, and I show you how strong you are. I have to make you believe in yourself first before you believe anything. Because most people go into training with over anticipated goals, with just thinking, oh, I'm going to do this in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And I have to make you understand that's not what it is. Understand what the work is, understand the process. But trust me and trust yourself. Because how many people say I can't? I won't.
I think it's accident, and people actually say it quite often.
It's the first. It's so easy to say that.
Yeah,
It's so
sure.
it's so easy to say. Saying I can't is the easiest thing that you could possibly do, because see, the word I can comes with work. It comes with.
Has there ever been somebody that because of their mentality you were like, I just can't train them?
Nah.
Wow, you've been able to impact everybody mentally in that way where that you can get anybody where they want to go.
I think there's a level of respect.
Wow.
I think there's a level of respect. When you're my client the first day. You're my family the second day.
Okay.
And
I thought I was special, but
you,
no, I'm kidding.
you're my best client ever. I told you that.
I need the positive reinforcement.
It's important that, I make them understand, the purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's times when me and Mike was doing Creed, I said, we got a job to do. Who's going to see this? Billions of people all around the world.
Yeah.
What mark are we going to leave?
Come on.
What you going to leave with them? What you going to leave with? What's the thought going to be? When they see you, what's going to be their first thought?
And this is what I love about you, Corey, is because you get me hyped in the gym. I know that you can do this because I've trained with you. And so it's so cool to just, I think it's great. You know what I mean? I'm happy that you're on the show because it's powerful, the stuff you say. I remember even when we were in a couple sessions back where you were talking about how you went and talked to the kids in New Orleans. Mm-hmm. And, I live for that stuff and just what you were talking to them about. And these were kids, like you said, that, don't have support. They have maybe gotten into some of the bad ways. I think you said they was in juvenile homes or something like this.
This was the juvenile detention center. And these kids were the worst of the worst. These wasn't regular kids that might, be bad. Now, these was killers, rapists, murderers. These were those type of kids. And I was able to command their attention. If you watch the video, when I told them choice, change, and chance, they responded to it. And I did that for a reason because I need to make sure that they're paying attention to me because those kids can look at me and be like, this is just another person.
Yeah.
And it's important to me that these kids see someone that don't know them, but I love you and I still believe in you despite whatever you did. And that's the biggest message. We cannot continue to be harping on what we did yesterday. I need you to focus on what you're doing today for a better tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And that's where the 3 words came from. Choice, chance, and change.
Yeah,
and I'm living on that this year because everybody deserves that. Everybody deserves to make a choice, to take a chance and make a change.
So for those that are, so let's talk about us, right? Obviously we met, and I thought one of the coolest things that you told me, because, being in Hollywood and being where people want a Eurocentric way. I mean, obviously now everybody's like, I want a big booty. I want to do, we're in the BBL era. So, everybody wants a little hourglass shape. That's one thing, right? But still, there is always a more Eurocentric leaning society that we live in, which generally is going to be a pencil thin body.
Mm-hmm. I don't get it.
So me growing up in my industry and in fashion and all that stuff, my thoughts was always to make sure I kept myself slim. You know what I mean? I'm always trying to keep it, I'm sample size, you know what I'm saying? And even still, I've always had a little bit more meat than what would be, model thin, but never quite as much to be considered like a stallion. I've always been just like a fit, natural, smaller size person. And I liked that. I wanted to obtain that. That was like, I gotta look like this. I've always, been serious about that body image. And so it was interesting when I talked to you and I showed you old pictures of me, when I look at those old pictures now, I'm like, what the hell? You know what I mean? It's so different. And also, what I loved that you said was, okay, well, you're never going to look like that. You know what I mean? You know, that's not how you, I mean, you could, but that's not what you have right now. So instead of us going against what you have, let's lean into it and let's continue to sculpt that to be your best self now.
Exactly.
And I really loved that. And it really encouraged me because, like you said, when you talk about the choice, change, chance, I think what that speaks to also is like being able to turn over a new leaf and go into a new direction with something. Instead of me harping on what I used to be and how I'm never going to get back, which I think was probably natural for my headspace. We started working out when I was like 5-6 weeks postpartum, which is kind of early.
5 weeks.
Yeah, which is kind of early. So I'm sure that had its own stresses, right? But I really appreciated it because, you know, my body's never going to be the same because I've had a baby. Mm-hmm. And instead of, you know, me, you know, trying to get somebody that's telling me I'm going to go back, you know what I mean? Or me focused on trying to go back. Why not go forward and take what my baby gave me and turn it into something greater? And I feel like that's what we've been doing. I mean, I feel good mentally and I feel good physically.
That's what it's about. When you showed me these pictures of you about a couple years ago, and I was like, nah, you're not gonna be this. And I was looking at you at the time because I'm very visual when I see somebody. And I said, let's use this. Because when you said you wanted to put muscle on, how you wanted to look, you're not gonna be sample size. They're gonna make a size to fit you.
I love it.
That's what we change. The new narrative is we walking into it, not running away from it.
Yes, yes. That's so important, especially for us moms out here, man. Seriously. We had to be encouraged for where we're at. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Instead of, you know, trying to change, especially after you have a kid. Because, you know, your body changes, your mindset changes. So many things change about you after having a kid, you know. But you at the same time want to still be your best and want to know that you're doing something for yourself. And I feel that way when we're going into training. And obviously it's a part of my job. So I definitely don't think anybody, you know, if they're not in front of a camera, you don't gotta over freaking do it. Give yourself a break. It's a part of my industry, and I think it's important that we say that because I think a lot of people look at the celebrity lifestyle and forget that it's a job. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a part of our jobs, you know, in terms of image. So don't put too much pressure on yourself, but it does feel good when you're getting back in the gym and you're working with what you got, what you have, you know what I mean, and figuring out how to make it its best.
It is. I've seen so many moms. So this is what happens. I feel like you have the baby. After when you're able to actually walk around and do things, if you can't start losing the weight, you stop. Then you get bigger. Yeah. And when you get bigger, you feel like I'm never gonna get back to what I was. I don't want you to be back what you was. I want you to be where you are to get better to where you want to go. And I see that. So when you stop, don't stop. Like let's utilize this. It's almost like you got a brand new body. You know? And it's actually possible if you put the work in every single day, one step at a time, it can actually happen. I told you the other day, when I see you come in, I was like, oh shit, this is something different. We seeing things come together and things move, and we just getting started, you know. And
it's mental too. It's mental too, and that's why I love that you're speaking to that as a, you know, what you're giving to the people that get a chance to work with you is not just on the outside, it's on the inside too. And I think I was also carrying that. I remember the first time when people kind of start seeing after we were working out together and I was wearing that Roberta Cavalli, you know, jumpsuit in Atlanta and the confidence that I had walking around, you know, it just was so much fun. And it comes from like, you know, the work that I think we're doing. And so it's cool. I'm glad that, I get to share a little bit of this insight with my other moms and other people that are listening to this podcast, because sometimes we think about fitness as only like getting my six pack and being, you know, this guy or that person. And I think, you know, more of us can get into it if we're coming at it from a place of like, let me just know I'm doing something for myself and let me just do something for a confidence boost. I ain't got to look like you. I ain't got to look like them. I got to look like myself and just be able to like know that this is something I can maintain.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's the most important part. If you're doing it for someone else, expect it to fit. When you're doing it for self, it will last. It will last. I know it.
Baby, this is Keke Palmer, yeah.
So let's get into some light tea when it comes to the, you know, we want to know, you know, how, you know, some of these actors and actresses or whoever, entertainers, they fluctuate with their weight.
Mm-hmm.
How much is it like impossible shit that y'all are having these people doing? Like what are the tricks of the trade? And are these things that are intense and that you only should be doing if you're doing like a movie or getting ready for a competition? Like how severe does it go when people are dropping weight like that, man?
That's true. When we're getting ready for a certain type of film, I wouldn't suggest people do that all year, every day. No, I think you should do it for like a week or 2 week period, and that's it. Because it gets very strenuous from the water, from the sodium, from the carbohydrates, to cutting it all out, to bringing it back up. Your body can do so much zigzagging because I already have you at a very low body fat, so I can afford to do small things to where it won't hurt you. But if I can't do it when you have all the weight on you, and eating like that. The way I'll have you eat, I'm stripping you of a lot of nutrients. So when I strip you of a lot of nutrients, you don't have that much left. So when I strip you down, I have to slowly bring them back in so you don't just overly, gain too much weight on you.
And when we're talking about stripping, are we talking about, because I've had some people, even in the past with me with training, people had you eating nuts and berries, no meat, or if you are going to eat meat, it's only this type of meat at this time, or you know what I mean? We've seen Chris Pratt when he was getting ready for, Jurassic and Guardians of the Galaxy, he was eating bird food. So like when you talk about stripping people of the nutrients, what are you saying for real?
Sometimes I'm just talking about stripping you from sodium and stuff like that. I'm going to let you eat because I need the food to work for you, but certain sodium, we like sauces, can't have all that. Also, when I say strip, I mean like the amount of food. Sometimes you'll go from like having 6 to 8 ounces to having 3 to 4 ounces. That can make your body cut down too. So it's different things when people come to like stripping nutrients. We just say strip you of the nutrients because you can't survive on a bodybuilding diet 365 days of the year. That's not gonna happen.
And I love that honesty because I've always told people, even before, jumping back into fitness this time around with you, back in the day, I would be 4 months on, 4 months off, 4 months on, 4 months off. I would always go in between because I think it's unrealistic sometimes to just be so intense all the time. And I remember my friend Bria Murphy, her mother, Nicole Murphy, is the one who told me that. She's also in great shape all the time.
Correct.
Nicole looks fabulous.
All the time.
And I remember her telling me when I was really young, she was like, girl, I don't do this all the time. I take my breaks, and I have my fun, and then I'm back on it. And I think it's good for us to remember that too. Ain't nobody perfect 100% of the time.
No.
That's not a reality.
That's right.
So Corey, on the show, before we end, we always do a game. And I want to play with you questions that must be answered, okay? In this segment, I will ask you some burning questions that I know have been on everyone's mind, and you have no choice but to give me an honest answer.
Man.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let me get
All
my
right.
stuff. Are you scared? Okay.
I might be. Oh, no.
What do you think about the Ozempic trend that we're seeing in Hollywood?
It's not... I'm not saying it's 1,000% bad. I'm saying it's okay. You still got to put the work in, but it's
interesting.
But it's a little. It all depends on the person's situation.
So this is my thing with the Ozempic. It sucks. I get the girls want to get into shape, but I hate that sometimes, Ozempic, from what my knowledge is, I know it's been made for people that have diabetes.
Right.
So, ever since that the girls have been using it to lose weight, the folks with diabetes ain't able to get, the prices have gone up with the Ozempic.
That's a problem. That's a problem. They got people got to get their medicine. Let them people get their medicine. You need to go run on the treadmill now. Let them people get their stuff.
I heard that there was something else that was similar to Ozempic. I don't know the name, but it was another name. It starts with like an M or something that,
semaglutide.
Is that it?
Yeah, semaglutide, yeah.
And that's similar to the Ozempic. Now, what does that do? The girls want to know.
It's like the same thing. It helps the body to burn fat. It also, it cuts a lot of your appetite down. So you're not as hungry all the time. If you have diabetes, yes, it's for that. I know people that's seriously overweight. I know doctors give that to them. So I'm not saying I recommend that for people to do. No, before the doctors and everybody come at my neck. No. But people that may have to get it, that go to a doctor and a physician says, I think you need this to get started. I'm not going against a doctor. They went to school a lot of days and a lot of hours a night. So they know what they're talking about. I just know what I know, and they know what they know.
Okay. And that's on period.
And that's on period.
Oh, this is a good one.
Oh, boy.
Who trained harder, Jonathan Majors or Michael B. Jordan?
Man. Oh, wow.
The girls were drooling over those bodies, and we didn't even know. I mean, Jonathan Majors came out the back with, I mean, they showed his before and after of what y'all did to his body. I mean,
All right.
that was insane. How did you do that?
All right, so what I'm gonna say is this. So Mike had to direct, and he had to be a leader of men and train with me every day. So that's a lot to do mentally and physically.
Okay,
Jonathan just had to train with me and go to hell and back every day. That is the answer I'm going to give. I'm not getting in
Well, let's just
between
be
that.
clear. Jonathan Majors is a Virgo.
Yes,
and I'm going to
he
just leave
is.
that there. Okay, Virgos, we going to do everything we got to do.
If I told Jonathan to crawl with the 40,
That rope scene in Creed?
he did it. As a matter of fact, we was doing one scene when he was lifting the weights. I said, you need to put fake weights on there because you're not going to be able to do that many reps. He said, I don't want no fake weights. I said, all right. We didn't have fake weights. He started lifting the weights. He started lifting them. And that was like,
Jeez Louise.
yeah.
Incredible work you did.
Thank you. When I got him, I said, oh yeah, I know what I'm going to do with you because my goal was to make them look like gladiators.
And you did.
Yeah.
Incredible. Let me also say incredible work to those guys because everybody, I'm sure as you know, everybody don't do it. You know what I mean?
No.
Everybody's not willing to do what it takes. So,
That's
insane what they've been able to do with their bodies,
Everybody want it, but they don't want to go through it.
It's insane. Okay, let me get my next little question. Have you ever had to turn down a celebrity client?
Yeah.
Like, has there been anybody that you didn't want to train? You were just like, no, I'm not going to train you.
Yeah,
Really?
a lot.
And why? What?
Because I'm a bougie person sometimes. Nah.
Have you ever had clients that want to keep you to themselves? I remember I used to work with glam, sometimes hair and makeup, the girls, people would be like, I don't want my team working with anybody else. Have you ever experienced that where people are like, he's my trainer only?
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Of course.
Well, how do you deal with that?
I said, listen, let me get this money. I won't leave. Okay? Calm down. I got to go get this money. I'm building a brand over here.
Exactly. Period. Come on.
I mean, I'm with you now.
So what do you do? Do you kind of like, just say I'm unavailable? Like, how do you get out of that?
Send it to my team.
I know that's right.
They
Let the team do it.
they respond. Unfortunately, it's like an answer machine. Unfortunately, he can't come to the phone right now. That's really it. But I'm picky and choosing who I'm gonna train. I'm really picky with it. I just not gonna train anybody. Because at this point, it's not just about money. It's about relationship. It's about network. It's about energy. Like when you come to the gym, are we gonna have a good time? Most of the time, if we can't have a real conversation and laugh, and you try to be in there going crazy, because if I turn it up, you're not gonna come back. Let's enjoy the session. Let's have a good time. So I haven't. Most people, if I don't want to train them, I don't train. And if I do,
That's fair.
I do. It's really something special about them because at this point, I really want to just connect with really good people. That's going to make my job fun.
I totally get it. When I'm working on set, I want to collaborate with folks that are fun. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We can have a good time, get the work done, but also have a good time. Okay, I got my last question.
All right. What is this one?
I already think I know. I only got one left in here.
Who writes these questions?
Have you ever had a client not ready in time for a project?
No.
Really?
No.
So everybody has
It's a real thing. I'm undefeated. Let me tell you, I'm serious.
Come on, Floyd Mayweather.
Because this is what I do. So I go to the director. I said, tell me the days they need to be like this or like that. I let the producer know I need this amount of time before we start. I'm on set, and that's a wrap. I'm very calculated on what I need to do.
Yeah.
I basically, when I go on sets, I run the show when it comes to that type of stuff. I remember, it's funny because I remember going on Fantastic Four with my head down, nervous, stepping over lines, over plugs, not making sure I don't do nothing. You see, when I walk on Black Panther and Creed, I said, y'all need something?
I love it.
And that's because I earned that.
I
earned that. And I know what I'm going to bring to a film. I'm going to bring the people to the seats.
And it's funny that what you said too, because I remember when I was getting ready for the Met Gala, you were like, what's the design of your dress? I told you the design of my dress. I showed you the design of my dress. You said, okay, your back is out. Okay, this is out. Okay, we're going to work on that. And we literally worked on the specific parts of everything so I could literally just like, everything could look so effortless in my look. And I was like, okay, this dude is like on some mad scientist shit. Okay.
I didn't tell you, but I'm going to say it in front of everybody. So I always have a goal, and I'm very competitive. So when I saw you, I said, okay, she has to beat out a certain person that everybody looks up to when it comes to a body in movies. And I said, okay, because I trained this person before too. I said, okay, because I did it with Mike. I was like, I had to go look around and say, who looked better than him? I said, okay, I found, he sent me an actor, which the actor was my other client too. Well, Mike was my first when he became my other client. He said, I won't look better than him. I said, gotcha, we'll beat him. And then when I saw you, I said, I know who it's going to be. And I'll put it out there in the world.
Who is it? I think I might know. I think you said this.
I did say it.
Angela?
Angela Bassett.
Yeah, you want my body look like Angela, because Angela is stacked, honey. Her body been looking good for 40 years.
Guess what? We got 40 years to go.
Okay, I'm ready. Come on, let's get into it.
When I think of what I want you to look like, that's where I go at. I go to Angela Bassett.
I mean, Angela told me at a young age. I mean, Angela worked hard to always be in good shape. She feels like that. Like that's a part of her training, mental training. Like she's a very disciplined individual. And I mean, you can go all the way back to Vampire in Brooklyn to What's Love Got to Do with It up until now in Black Panther. She is fit. And it's so good to see a beautiful Black woman just look like that all the time in every age of her life. So if we're going for Angela, hey, we're going for Angela.
That's what we want.
I love that. I would love to look anything close to that.
That's what I want. I got to go to the top. I want the top. That's it.
Well, Corey, you're the top for me.
Thank you.
In every way.
Thank you.
And I'm sure I'm going to be seeing you tomorrow because we train every day.
You sure will.
Thanks for coming on the show. You're awesome.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Yet again, we talked, we gabbed, we learned. I loved every single moment, loves. Until next time, you know it's your girl.
Baby, this is Keke.